Special Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. It is 9:06 a.m. and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Amber, lead us, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment. Is there any public comment? There is not. We'll move forward with the new business, awarding bids for Park Street and 18th Street projects. Jerry Jackson.
All right, morning.
Morning.
So on Wednesday of this week, on July 17th, we collected bids for the 18th Street sanitary.
Can you state your name and business for the?
I'm Daniel Byam with JPR. On this Wednesday, July 17th, we collected bids for the 18th Street Sanitary Sewer Extension Project and the North Park Road Sewer Extension Project for the wastewater division. I'll start by summarizing 18th Street. The packets that you guys have are by project. So 18th Street, we received two bids. We received one bid from Woodruff & Sons in the amount of $1,040,953.88, and a bid from Reith Riley in the amount of $1,124,647.87. The engineer's estimate on that project was $887,955. So the low bid from Woodruff & Sons came in about 17% over the estimate. However, after a full review of all the bid documents, we found that they adhered with everything that we'd required in the front end docs. Do you want me to request award of the projects both at the same time, or?
Let's take one, one at a time if we could.
Okay, so that being said, on 18th Street, certified bid tabs are attached to the bid summary letter. They're the larger 11 by 17 sheets that are in there. As I mentioned, I didn't notice any issues, errors, abnormalities with any of the numbers in the bid. I've also attached a blank notice of award form. So if the board chooses to award the project, that form is ready for signature.
So I guess from Mr. Jackson's perspective, obviously 17%, it's a project that needs to get done, but it's also a number
Ouchie.
that, hurts a little bit.
Use
It
a
seems
technical
like
term.
it's all in item number 5, the landscape restoration and seeding. Is that, I mean, it seems like that's the greatest difference.
Well, it should also be noticed that Woodruff and Reith Riley's numbers were fairly close together. I think the way.
So you're suggesting that they're legitimate?
Yes, yeah.
So where do you see the 17% increase laying out? Would you agree that a lot of it's in the landscaping?
Probably, yeah.
Is that accurate? I mean, because in that particular line item, Reith Riley was closer to the engineer's estimate. So I'm just
Yeah.
trying to understand if there's a flush going through one category where.
What I think probably happened is, I think Woodruff & Sons has smaller unit price on their pipe than Reith Riley does. And I think that's because I think Reith Riley probably built some of the landscape restoration and seeding into their pipe unit price.
I see.
It's a little hard to know what they're actually putting in
Right,
these
yeah.
line items.
They kind of shift things around during
Yep.
the bid. And
Yep.
But in your review of the bid, it meets everything we're asking for in terms of specs and completion of the project the way we expect the outcome to be.
Yeah. And my opinion is it's high because we're bidding a project in the middle of summer when everyone's already busy and we're in a big hurry,
Yeah,
and that costs.
that makes sense. That makes the most sense to me. I'll make a motion to approve the bid.
Second?
Discussion, so again, when you look at, if I'm reading correctly, as we say, the numbers are similar, but yet, when we look at, per Ms. Romine, could Woodruff be off what they're bidding? Because Reese Riley seems to have in the range that the engineer's estimate was. Could they be misreading some of the landscaping requirements?
I doubt it.
We can ask them to review the number. I don't know if we could approve it pending review of that number.
Because,
That's the one that's the largest outlier in comparison with both the engineer's bid and also Reith Riley. So again, I understand you're saying that some of the piping or some of the other items, maybe they bid lower and then they've flushed or put it into that. But it's a huge difference. I mean, that's not just like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. It's over $215,000.
maybe they're using artificial turf or, you know, I don't.
Great, we could put a baseball field up too
Yeah,
then,
no
right?
kidding.
Well, and I kind of, so I looked at the two different bids. So we got one for Park Road that's under by a little over 68,000, and then the total for 18th is over the estimate by 152,000. So just kind of subtracting those, it's kind of, overall, we're about $90,000 over what we expected for both projects. So, yeah, I don't know. Well, first of all, do we have, of what we budgeted, is this all coming out of a GO bond?
On 18th Street, a portion of it, half roughly, or a little more, is coming out of wastewater, and the rest is coming, Courtney can talk to how.
Is Mr. Minnick here, or?
Nick?
Yes,
Nick is not here yet. No.
okay. So the engineering estimate, that's he put together.
I put that together. That was JPR that put together the engineer's estimate on the bid tab.
So you estimated 15,000.
Yeah,
What did your estimate include?
basically includes stabilization and seeding of the areas that they tear up.
And do you believe your 15,000 is accurate?
I believe, yeah, I do. Now, on the other hand, like I said, some contractors will lump money in other places. So, I mean, if anything, looking at that, you know that you're getting a fair number on pipe from Woodruff and Sons, that they're not inflating it with additional landscape cost. Because I'm just thinking about, if there's change orders during the project and we have to add pipe for whatever reason, that landscape number is a lump sum number. So that's gonna be unaffected whether pipe's at.
I'm not sure I'm following you.
Okay.
So,
I think they're using it as a plug because they're leaving room, this is my guess, you know better than I do. Are they leaving that line item 5 as a plug for an extra 200,000 to cover what they might be missing in other specific line items?
Yeah, there's a good chance of that.
well, I would like to, I would like to, do you really believe it shouldn't, even if we said $20,000 in landscaping?
Well, remind me again, what was Reith Riley's number?
16.5?
There were
close.
16.5,
That
you
was
were
close.
15,000, so I'm gonna take those two. I'm gonna say, I'd even put in there based on no more than 16,000, which would reduce the overall bid by,
About 224.
Which then
Or
puts
14,
us-
excuse me.
right in the range of the engineer's estimate. So if they come back and say, well, we can't do it for that, can we have, we do enough business for Reith Riley. I'll have them come in and do the 16.5 portion and have Woodruff do the rest of it.
Have them restore it. So
Is that an
What-
option?
I'm not sure how that would work, but
Well, I can tell you, Reese Riley's gotten a lot of business here in the city, and I can tell you how it'll work in the future if that's a problem, or, you know.
No, I think more from Woodruff's perspective, that'd be a problem for them. I'm wondering if the bid is based on doing every single item. That's what I'm asking.
I'm sure it
you.
is. That's kind of the nature of the bid itself. I was
think-
just curious, I don't have the bid tab in front of me. What was
Do you
Well, here,
wanna
would
see a
you like,
copy?
yeah,
unit price on?
use this one, and then
Yeah,
she and I
okay,
will
sure.
share.
There you go, thank you. We're throwing a lot at you.
Because I assume,
But
yeah,
it's
but
just
you
a
did
big-
this, so you would be aware.
That's true, he did, you're right.
Yeah, if you look at it, Woodruff and Sons unit price for gravity sewer pipe is half of Reith Riley's. Woodruff's number is $78 per foot on 8-inch gravity sewer pipe, and Reith Riley's is $154 a foot. We estimated 125, right between them.
I guess it would be better to go back to Woodruff and say, we love all your other numbers, we just don't understand the landscape restoration and seeding when that is so much higher than anything that was bid by either, or estimated either by the engineers or Reith Riley. And is it because they didn't get accurate costs for the other line items?
But they didn't bid an overall package one number. They bid line item, and this is a legal bid. So please, speak your mind.
Yeah, no, I'm,
And it's the same thing on bid number 2. You know, they're off on the landscaping, and I just can't go back to the taxpayers or to our community and say, hey, we got $239,000 of cost, and whether they're putting margin from everything else into landscaping, that's not a smart way to do it.
That's certainly what
well,
it
Mayor,
looks
the-
like. I have no problem with going back to them and requesting that they provide a little more clarity on that number.
But the second piece for Park Road, that's where Reith Riley came in with actually a hair under engineer's estimate. But yeah, if you do, but to the same point, right, item number 5 is quite a bit higher under Woodruff, so maybe there is something going on there that
It's just something they do. or
certainly worth exploring. I mean, overall, I know you guys were looking there, but when I looked at the two total, compared to the engineering estimate, even with the overage on the 18th Street, with Park Road being lower, the difference is still, it's about $90,000 higher overall than we expected for both projects.
And these aren't all coming from the same place. These aren't all being funded from the same place. 18th Street is funded half from wastewater, and the other half is from sale of property out of general. We did an additional appropriation a while back. When Steiner purchased that 18th Street area, he purchased it for about $200,000. So we basically are putting that right back into the project. And then there's some other sale of property that we received that we also put into this project. Park Road is being funded, well, depending on the award of
Be
this
ARP, it could
bid,
be
it's coming from several places. A good portion of it, most of it, is coming from the TIFs. It's in the a TIF area, Thomas Rose Industrial Park area. And then 500,000 is funded from ARP funds that we received from the Porte County. And then a small portion will be funded from ARP funds.
ARP being the American Relief?
Yes,
Our portion of American
our ARPA. And then 500,000 is from the Porte County's ARPA funds.
So, Mr. Jackson, what does this do to your work, wanting to get work done if we approve a bid based on clarification of Woodruff? Is this going to delay you, cause problems?
I don't think so, because I don't think, I hope we can approve the bid or disapprove the bid. Well, if we disapprove the bid, we need another meeting. If we approve the bid, if Reith Riley says, I got my insurance in there, I got overhead in there, I got all that, we'll say, well, that's what you did.
Woodruff.
Or, sorry, Woodruff, yeah. And that is what I suspect is going on. there's not much we can do about that. That's just where they hid those costs.
We just want clarification, just
Yep.
because it's such an egregious difference.
Yep, yep.
All right, so if I, if I reach out to Woodruff today, get a response from him, I send that around via email, is that fine?
And let me ask you this, these bids come back to you, correct? So I think I would say, just for future reference again, is wouldn't you check when this comes back going, hey, there's a problem here?
Yeah.
I mean, I think,
I mean, I kind of saw it as, it looks like that's a lump sum item that they are throwing items from their unit prices in. Because their unit prices are pretty low across the board. If you look at the items that are measured by lineal foot, those are pretty low compared to the engineer's estimate and Reith Riley's bid. And I think some of those costs are getting thrown into landscape restoration.
again, though, it's line item, you gotta lay it out there as if,
This
I
was
mean,
all done.
it's still the lower of the two bids.
It's still the lower
But
of the two bids.
think
We
it
just want a
deserves- yeah.
clarification and.
Absolutely.
but it's
I
still higher
think
than
it
what
would
the
have-
estimate is.
Correct, correct. And I think it's worth a question and an ask, and potentially they need to think about the way they bid, just because it has
Yeah.
caused so much concern in our discussion. I mean, the spreadsheet's an accountant's dream, right, to then see the differentials and overage under where everything plays out, but,
Yep.
So we do have a motion and a second to approve this bid based on,
You have a motion and a second on 18th Street.
on
On
18th
18th
Street.
Street.
But we would like,
I'll amend the motion to say that we approve awarding the bid to Woodruff and Sons. However, that's pending clarification of line item number 5, the landscape restoration and seeding, upon Jerry's and the mayor's approval of that.
because if there's not an
Explanation.
answer we like, that doesn't mean we're still gonna
Correct.
approve it.
Correct. We want to make sure that you, and including possibly Nick Minnick Engineering, to say, yes, that makes sense, you know.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll second that amended motion.
Further discussion. I think that's why it's important for vendors, I know they're busy, to be at the meeting, you know, to be able to justify,
That would have been nice, yeah.
we could have solved it right now.
I'm sure it's because they are so busy and the weather's good today, and
Yeah, they were aware, we made them aware at the bid opening that this was the meeting, so they knew.
okay.
This bid was rushed, so we are, I mean, we're appreciative that we've got two bids that
bids.
came in. I mean, it was a quick
Gotcha.
timeline.
2.5 weeks or something? Yeah.
With that, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes. So let's go ahead and talk about the Park Street, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
So on North Park Road, we also received 2 bids from the same contractors. Reith Riley's bid came in at $1,260,133.87. And Woodruff's number came in at $1,499,898.88. Our engineer's estimate was $1,328,650. So Reith Riley's number actually came in 5% under, or I'm sorry, yes, Reith Riley's number came in 5% under. Again, the bid tabs are attached. I think there's a similar discrepancy between numbers on item 5 under the lump sum bid items. But in this case, Reith Riley was the low bidder on the project.
Motion to approve,
So moved.
Second.
discussion. Now, I got to ask, if you've got gravity sewer and your bid estimate, you did this one as well.
Yes.
Would you say these are 2 similar projects?
Slightly. The 18th Street project has a little bit of pressure sewer in it. The Park Road project does not. The Park Road project's entirely gravity sewer. The western portion of the 18th Street project includes some directionally bored, small diameter, like 2-inch diameter pressure sewer mains, and I think 6 grinder stations.
That's to get the existing houses that didn't have sewer service, and their septic tanks are all in the backs of the houses down low.
Yeah.
So getting them to gravity was not practical.
Yeah, we
But
could,
it seems as if your bid is on estimate on this one. Who's off where?
Yeah,
Is it your bid? Is it their bid? Because now they're under bid, so this one at least makes me happy. But this one is,
yeah, I
what,
used the same,
17% over?
I used the same unit prices for the most part on the two projects. I guess the one thing to keep in mind is that on Park Road, the gravity sewer is all 12-inch. It's larger diameter pipe than it is on 18th.
But they were under bid for that project, yet 17% overbid
Yeah.
on a similar project on 18th Street.
Right.
And I know they're busy, and we just all said they bid based on being busy. Well, if they're busy for 18th Street, they should be busy for
Park.
Park Street, to quote similar numbers, yes or no from a,
I agree. I agree with that logic. I do agree with that logic.
so I'm not sure what the difference is.
Well, and there's I mean, Mayor, to that point, the Woodruff bid, which is higher on the Park Road, it's the same, roughly the same issue in terms of item 5 with that landscaping, restoration, and seating
Yes.
being significantly higher for Woodruff. So it very, seems to me like there's something going on in terms of their bid process
Yes.
for that piece, which, of course, we'll find out more. But I guess for this one, to me, it doesn't seem to matter because Reith Riley came in
Correct.
much more similar to the engineering estimate, under our total bid estimate, so that's good news, but still, the same thing is happening in terms of at least Woodruff's bid.
Yeah, if you took out, on Woodruff's bid, if you took out the difference in the landscaping, he'd be about 7% under bid
Yeah.
on this one, which is close to Reith Riley's on this one,
So.
just as a comparison.
Yes, you're exactly right. But since, if we're comfortable on this bid price and that this is under, do you feel comfortable making a motion to approve the North Park Road bid? Make a motion in a second?
There is a motion and a second. I
Okay.
do need to clarify this, and I just want to make sure it's in the minutes. The RDC will also have to approve whatever portion of the project is outside and inside of the TIF. So I just want to make sure that I understand for minutes what the amount for this North Park Road, because it is funded so interestingly, the award, I just want to make sure we're clarifying what portion is coming from RDC, what portion is coming from the city, ARP, and the
In other
restricted.
words, we're only allowed to, or given permission to award the dollars that go towards the work within our locality.
Correct.
And
I just need
then
that, and I just
RDC
need
will
that
do
spelled
theirs.
out. And then we will also take this to RDC if a portion of that is being paid through RDC.
Which Mr. King has a
Yes.
breakdown.
Yeah, so for this portion here, doesn't include any of the things outside of the TIF district. Like this portion for North Park
all
Road
TIF.
is all TIF. Yes,
Yeah, we have to bid the part within the subdivision.
as a separate.
We're working on that right now.
Yes.
Okay, so we're good then with what we are presented this morning, awarding that total dollar amount, correct?
Yeah, and you'll make a recommendation, I think, to RDC to award as well.
Further discussion, one thing I would like to state that with Reith Riley, we've been having some issues with some of their seeding and restoration at some of the sidewalk, where it's weeds more than grass and so forth. I would like some clarification or confirmation from them that this will be done appropriately and we don't have a weed field happening here, but we actually have grass.
right.
The bulk of this work is across a wheat field, so.
We've already got it. It's hard to remove the weed and
So-
not have it come back up,
So
in
I'm
other
just, it is
words.
a farm field, I'm joking about the
You
wheat
gotta,
part.
you gotta,
Wheat field.
Oh, I think so.
I thought you said weed also.
I did, I was joking
We're not
about
in
wheat. It's
Michigan.
a farm field, yeah, so there's not, grass isn't a concern for the bulk of this job, is my point.
All right, with that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Other business, Chief Buell, since you were so kind to come here, any comments?
I'll defer until after the meeting, if you would give me 5 minutes. I need to talk to you about a few things.
Okay,
Thank you.
motion to adjourn,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Have a great meeting.